Indianapolis 500 was that one track that stood out that I thought, I might have a shot at because it's more like an oval. And that's what happened with the series is in Indy cars, they started going to more road racing circuits and they were looking for road racing drivers. So that's why a lot of the open wheel guys like myself didn't get that opportunity until the IRL came around. But I just didn't follow stock car racing a lot. I knew about Daytona, and that was it. But when I started racing out here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, a guy named Larry Newber, who has passed away since, but he was a commentator for ESPN, like a pit reporter for ESPN, and he was doing the races out there for ESPN, and he told me, he's like, have you ever considered stock car racing? I'm like, no. He goes, it's all about ovals. He goes, I know that the cars, don't have all the downforce and, they're not open wheel cars. But he said, I think you might like it. Go try it. So I went to Rockingham and tried it and fell in love with it immediately. I was like, I love these cars. I love the high bank, fast oval tracks. And I thought, this is way more suited for me than Indy cars. What am I thinking with the Indy cars? I need to go drive a stock car. And it just took that path and it just worked out.
When did you car driver, and when did you get the feeling that, I could make a living at this?
Okay, so I went to that driving school. That was like the summer of 1990, and I was battling for a midget championship that year and racing Silver Crown cars and doing all those things. I went and drove that stock car, and that's all I wanted to think about. It was just like, wow. And I met a guy who had his own nationwide car, Bush car at the time, that was there, and he said to me, he goes, I saw you at the school. I've been hearing a lot about you, and I was going to drive this car because I just like having fun with it. But how would you like to drive it? This literally, I went to this driving school for 3 days. This guy just happened to be there, and I sat down with him for 30 minutes at lunch one day, and we talked about it, and I left there and we stayed in touch, and all of a sudden I was driving his car in October, and that guy was related to Leo Jackson, who was the car owner for Harry Gant at the time. And I had no idea. I didn't know this guy knew anybody. I just knew he had a car. He asked me to drive. I said yes. And so that was the Outback Steakhouse Pontiac car that I ended up driving that year. And we tried to qualify for 3 races. 2 of them basically rained out. And then Rockingham, we sat on the outside front row. And not only that, but Andy Petrie was the crew chief for Harry Gant at the time. They asked him, might work out. He's working with IROC right now, and he's been trying to do some things. Let's ask him. So, my first time out, I had Ray Evernham as my crew chief. A relationship with Leo Jackson's organization and Harry Gant to tap into, and I was like, I didn't know what was going on. But from that point on, it was just an incredible ride. And after that Rockingham race, I got called, I won't say the 4-letter word around here, but I went on to drive for Bill Davis, and it was a great ride to have, and that certainly opened up a lot of doors for me.
And do you sometimes look at outside forces and say, is this something that's happening? Is it something that I'm doing? What is the reason that we're not getting the wins?
No, we always look at every aspect of it. I critique myself just as much as I do the rest of the team, and we're always constantly trying to find ways that we could be better. Where are we missing it? And you never have it perfect, And there was a reason why Ray and I went our separate ways, is because we had done so much so fast, and we've kind of felt like, man, we're never ever going to be able to keep this going like this. And he got the opportunity to go do his own team. I was kind of looking forward to bringing on a new crew chief and proving that I could still win races and championships with somebody else, because you got to remember, those of you that have been around the sport for a while, it was all Ray, it's all Hendrick, and while a lot of those things were true, I wanted to show what I could do as well. So luckily we went on to win a championship 01, but that what sticks out in my mind, and I look at the 48 team right now, what really makes dominance and a dynasty like we had with the 24 car back in the mid-late 90s it's that whole combination. It's every little piece that comes together and just makes that magic team. And we had that with Ray, the Rainbow Warriors, myself, and just a lot of key components that Hendrick Motorsports all brought together. And that's what we're constantly searching for now. And I look at the 48 team and I say, you know, hey, I know we have all the same engines and cars and you know, abilities to do what they're doing, but you got to understand that combination of Chad and Jimmy and their engineers and just the whole chemistry, it's very tough to beat because those guys have what we had, and that's what we're trying to constantly, and sometimes you just can be so close, and I feel like Steve has that magic, and we've gotten so close this year, a little bit here and there, and I think we're right there.